this process of self-realization is a process where you explore your experience without assumption, without ideas about it, without beliefs, and you pay close attention to your experience as it is right now, right here. And you look at it very carefully. And it seemed very easy because, of course, experience is here. My experience is right here. It's very easy to explore it. It is very hard to explore what is here without assumption, without beliefs, without expectation. And that's the difficulty. The process of self-realization is the ability to be engaged with what is right here, to be sensitive to our experience as it is. The more we are sensitive to what is here, the more we engage experience, not through our belief, but through what it is, the more we perceive experience, not from our own limited perspective, but from its perspective, the more we understand our experience and life and everything that seemed to happen, not from our own beliefs and expectation and drama or individuality, but from its perspective of oneness and unity. This is the process. The more we perceive it that way, the more our experience will reflect the peace, the joy, and the happiness that exist inherently in reality, inherently in what we are. That's why it's a realization. It's not something that you gain. It's something that you remember that was here already. That is not about doing something, but more about perceiving what you are actually entertaining that is bringing you confusion. So it's more about undoing our beliefs, undoing our assumption, undoing our sense of individuality. And by doing this, we are naturally simply realizing what we are. We are self-realizing what is here. Reality. We are perceiving reality simply by seeing confusion and understanding what confusion is. The more you will naturally perceive reality as it is. And perceiving reality is about having an experience that is more aligned with our true nature, more aligned with what we are. There is two different processes that seem to be different, but they are one and the same. The first one is impulse, that there is something wrong in experience and I want to improve it. And the other is I'm perfect and everything is perfect as it is. And they are both wrong and they are both inaccurate from their own perspective. And the non-duality process is the process by which you fusion both perspectives together, and you start to understand that there are two perspectives, two ways, two different ways to engage with experience. Even if our being, what we are, never change, even if experiences have never changed, but the way we are engaging with it will affect the way it seems to appear to us. Well, there are those two processes that seem confusing, but they are not really, if you understand from which perspective they are perceived. And just like if you take the metaphor of the sea is one big mass of water with no differentiation and no division. And if you take one wave on the surface of the sea, the waves seem to appear and seem to start to extract itself from the sea. Right? And in this extraction, in this seeming individuality that emerge from the sea, that is made of the sea, because it's water, so it's made of the sea. But it seemed to emerge, it seemed to take an individuality that we took a wave. And this wave seemed to seek union again, because being a wave, it's very feels very small, right? So the wave is seeking the enlightenment and the awakening of being the sea. But during all of this process, the wave is the sea. But from the perspective of the wave, which is the perspective of our limited life, our individuality, our persona, our ego, there is something to attain, there is some kind of goal and objective. From the perspective of the sea, there is nothing wrong with being a wave, because from the perspective of the sea, there is no wave. There is only itself shining forth constantly. So depending from which perspective you are talking or understanding or engaging with your experience will reflect the consequences of what you understand and your level of sensitivity. If you believe that you are a wave, you will feel separated from the ocean, and you will feel that you need to do something, you need to arrive somewhere, you need to change, you need to become bigger, you need to do things. And from the perspective of the sea, there is no wave and everything is fine. And the way that this understanding is reflected in your experience is through sensing, perceiving, and thinking, which is the body, the mind, and the world. The way you perceive your body, the way you perceive your mind, the way you perceive the world, which is not your mind, but the way you perceive the body, the mind, and the world, is a reflection of your understanding and the deepness of your sensitivity as it is in the moment. Which I'm not saying this to judge whatever way you are perceiving the world or reality, is simply a way to understand and a way to make sense of what is appearing right now to you and to all of us. So the process of self-realization is not the process by which the wave realizes that it is the sea. The process of self-realization is the process by which the sea realizes that the wave, it's a fragment of itself. And in this last realization, the wave disappears and the sea, which was always there, is realized. But nevertheless, the sea, by its very nature, is waving on the surface. By the very nature of reality, there is a shining forth of experience. And that's why I'm exploring in my course with different layers that we explore those different layers. We explore thoughts, we explore the body, we explore perception. The way to understand those different quality of experience, and different quality of experience does not mean that those qualities are separated from the whole. Just like if you swim into the sea in the north of Europe, it is the same sea if you swim in the sea in the south of America. It's really the same sea. It's the same water. But it has maybe a different texture, a different flavor to it. But it is the same sea. It is one sea with different texture. But this is one being with an infinite of textures and beings and individuals that seem to appear within it. But a difference of texture, a differentiation is not a separation. So I can make a difference between different parts of my experience, but that does not mean that they are separated from, or they are different from it, or they are separated from reality and the whole. Well, the process by which you become more sensitive, the process by which you take an understanding and you make it more real to yourself to begin with, is the process by which your experience will be affected by it naturally without effort. It will not be affected by a doing or by an effort or strain, but be affected simply with the realization of what is confusion. And that's why often what we do is we talk about the confusion, or we look deeply into thoughts, into choice and control, into time, into sensation, into emotion, into relationship, into different things that we go layer by layer and deeper and deeper. And as you understand how they work in your own experience, in your day-to-day life, you will see that there is another way, and you will understand the confusion that you are in, that we are all in as beings, as individuals. So it can be very useful to do a process that is structured in a very specific way for a 4 month of my course, or for a long period of time, because if the process that you do, you explore in your day-to-day life, as you go with your normal life, you go to work, the grocery, you go to the hospital, you have, tax to pay, there is this and that, everything that makes this human life. The more you are exploring this self realization process in your day-to-day life, the more you will integrate the information, and the more you will understand, and the more the sensitivity will grow, and therefore your experience will start to reflect that naturally without effort. And that's why to me it's very important that this process is not to be separated from what you call your everyday life or your human life. In fact, it is really by looking closely to your human life, to what you call human life, to normalcy, to physicality, to thought, to all of this. If you look carefully, you will see that things change. They can change very drastically and very fast. I used one time the image of a little kid that is afraid of the monster under the bed. The only way the kid will stop to be afraid of the monster if it is that if it is a moment where he is strong enough to look under the bed himself, and to see for himself that there is no monster there. That's what will allow his fear to be undone over time. But it is looking at what is making you painful, what is the source of your suffering, what is the source of your anxiety, of your anger. If you look at it and you search for the source, you will see you will never find it. You will only find your awareness, only find peace, only find joy, only find what is here. And what is here is no source of anxiety, fear, or anger whatsoever. So seeing is healing, seeing clearly and being sensitive to what is right here, right now, and to what you are.